I always find myself drawing these two. For no reason at all. They always magically pulled me back in. Why do I end up back in the creepypasta fandom all the time? There is no escaping. Anyways, if you didn't know, the one that has long hair is Jeff the Killer, and the one that looks like Link from Legend of Zelda is Ben Drowned. I drew them a little over a year ago, back when I talked about the problems I had with shipping in a different shitty video. But today, we aren't talking about shipping in general, we're talking about these gay boys and their specific ship. The drawing itself is a bit of a practice with posing and anatomy. I know there are mistakes, but I'm happy that I challenged myself with this piece. I gotta try more with backgrounds though. If you're entirely clueless of who Ben Drowned and Jeff the Killer are, then you're lucky. I mean, I'll try to explain. Ben and Jeff are from made-up stories with their names as the titles respectively. Ben Drowned is a haunted Majoras mask ghost, and Jeff the Killer is a killer, and an edgy teen? I'll go more into depth in a bit. I should state what a creepypasta is first. Creepypastas are the spooky campfire stories of the internet. However, the internet is the internet, and most stories became stale copies of each other than actually scary. Jeff the Killer, instead of the cold killer he was supposed to be, became a hot anime boy that everyone wanted a piece of for some reason. That included my 12-year-old self as well. The creepypasta fandom is as good as dead now, and everyone who was 12 and making Mary Sue's shipped with Jeff kinda left now or have grown out of that phase. Like me, XD. Others who were better at writing and storytelling most likely went off to better fandoms. I was one of the fucking 12-year-olds that butchered the actual point of creepypastas, like I said before, ooh. Instead of scaring each other, it was about who could score it with Jeff, or who could land a spot in the Slender Mansion with all the other popular creepy kids. It's such a shame, too. But I'm not surprised. At least it was fun while it lasted. Now that I've told you a little bit about creepypastas and the tragic tale of their downfall, I should tell you about the men of the hour themselves. Ben Drowned is arguably one of the first creepypastas that used the haunted video game cartridge trope, and used it well. The story starts with this guy finding a Majora's Mask cartridge in a garage sale and writes about his playthrough. Events in the game that happen to the player can range from what the what to what the fuck. Ben is the main antagonist, one of the most popular of the fandom, and my favorite creepypasta character. He is canonically 12 years old and a ghost that theoretically drowned in his childhood. In the game, he is represented as the Statue of Elegy. I remember his story being well written and was legitimately scary the first time I read it. He is my son that is so great and amazing, and I love him. Jeff the Killer is a totally different story, being the start of the teen pushed to insanity by bullying trope. He possibly is the most popular creepypasta aside from Slender Man. You either hate him or you love him. I personally don't like his story or character. It is not as well made as Ben's or even some others and defies logic. It's about a 13-year-old that gets bullied maybe twice, then goes on to attack his bullies at a party. They retaliate by lighting him on fire. For some reason, that bleaches his skin inhumanly white and singes his hair black. Even though if he was actually on fire, he'd have a shit ton of awful burns and his hair would be completely gone. When his family takes him home, he cuts his face and his eyelids, and afterwards he kills all of his family because he thinks he's beautiful and they don't or something. This is also where he picks up his catchphrase, "Go to sleep." I don't enjoy his story anymore, and to be honest, it was never scary. However, I fell victim to his pitch black eyes, and I shipped him with my old Mary Sue Melissa. She's dead now. That's not relevant, however. We have a different couple to examine. Now that you know who these lucky bachelors are, do they have chemistry? Should and could Jeff the Killer go to sleep with Ben? Well, technically they don't know each other since Ben is in a video game and Jeff is an actual dude. Even then, I wouldn't see them hitting it off. Jeff the Killer technically can't hit it off with anyone anyways. He's a cold killer after all. He wouldn't have love on his mind. He'd always be thinking of who his next victim is or how he's going to stay alive for the next day. So, they really don't. This has to be a crack ship. There's no way that they would even like each other, except for some forced yowies, XD. I am a sucker for a lot of ships when it comes to cuteness, but I just can't with this one. I personally don't see how it is cute or hot or whatever. The only saving grace is my son Ben, but that isn't even enough for me to consider this that cute. I think it's just the thought of Ben or Jeff hooking up with someone getting to me. It doesn't seem plausible, but that's for the next topic anyways. To explain a bit more on what I mean when I say canon for creepypasta, I mean the context of the respective stories. Ben's and Jeff's stories don't correlate at all. Unless you follow the Slender Man Mansion alternate universe, then I really don't see this happening at all in terms of story. Even if they were in the same story, their personalities and overall characters wouldn't mix. Jeff really can't mix with anyone, and Ben is a ghost boy that probably wouldn't want anything to do with anyone as well. To be honest, I am not sure about much when it comes to Ben's character. We can only speculate. This is the part of the video where I spew my overall opinion. Well, more of my overall opinion. Creepypasta isn't the fandom to have ships. It's about scaring each other with creepy stories, trying to convince everyone it could happen in real life. So, when taking that whole opinion in, it's easy to infer that I don't have a high opinion about this ship. One thing before the final verdict I'd like to debunk is Jeff's age. He's not 15. He's 13. Ben and Jeff could mingle and go on dates and shit with their ages being the same if that's your argument, but you can't argue with the fact that Jeff would have no emotions. Yeah, I don't ship this, and I never did. Although at one time I did think it was cute, but I don't think so anymore. As one of the first ships that I experienced as a preteen, this ship goes a long way back for me. Ben and Jeff are both characters dear to me because they're my childhood. But are they shippable? I can't ship this. It's another crack ship that I just can't swallow fully without gagging and laughing a bit. I respect those who can ship this, but I have to pass on this ship and give it a solid 2 out of 5 hearts. Not the worst by all means, but not very good either. There are better ships for these two, and even then, creepypasta isn't about love. It's about the scare factor. If you ship this, great. If you don't, great. Just don't harass anyone, people. Humans have fun doing different things, and if your fun is from making fan art, fan fiction, edits, or anything about two murderers loving each other, then go right ahead. I'll sit back and cheer everyone on, even if I don't partake. Just make sure you have fun and don't ruin the fun for others. Life is too short to care. If you have any other ships you'd like me to add onto my reviewing list, comment them below. With that, I don't have an outro, so XD? Anyways, if you didn't know, the one that has long hair is Jeff the Killer, and the one that looks like Link from Can people stop talking in the background? I'd love to record a video without random people interrupting me. Someone is already calling my name. What did I just fucking say? Oh my god. Can you guys hear that in the background? I'm gonna start recording some... Oh. Okay, well, I'm hallucinating now. I can't do this right now. I have to wait a little bit until all this shit calms down. I'll go more into death in a bit. Death? Into death. Death. Yes, death. Shitty stories branched off of the haunted cartridge trope. Wow, I can't say trope. Through creepypasta. Ooh. Events in the game can... Oh. For some reason, that bleaches his skin inhumanly. Ooh. Ben is in a video game and Jeff is in an actual dude. Yes, Jeff is in an actual dude right now. Jeff the Killer is technically, yeah. Jeff the Tick? Ugh!